Is the recording started? Am I dumb? I just can't see.
No, it's on.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Welcome to Vinyasa Sculpt. This is a fun, hard class. My name is Kat, and it's so good to see you both, Mom, Shay, and our fellow YouTube friends. Let's get started in a seated pose. I like crisscross applesauce, but whatever feels good for you to just get grounded and started with this 45-minute practice is wonderful. I like to start my class off by closing my eyes, making some hand to body connection. So maybe resting your hands on your thighs or your knees, or even one hand on your heart and one hand on your stomach. And taking some deep intentional breaths here to begin. This class will be challenging. We will sweat a lot and have fun and fall out of things. And so before we begin, I invite you to bring a sense of fun, of no expectations, and a relaxation to the practice. No judgment, no stress. This is your playtime, so make of it what you will. Whatever breath you decide for practice is beautiful. When I'm feeling a little colder, I like to do the Ujjayi breath by sealing my lips at the top and bottom of my inhales and exhales. If you're feeling overheated, which we will be in a few minutes, open mouth exhales are invited to release some of that heat. Maybe keeping your eyes closed, begin to crawl your fingertips forward, so much so that you'll feel a stretch or a sensation in your glutes, maybe a little into your thighs, and relax your head down and forward as well. No tension in the upper body, shoulders down, arms light and soft. Just stretching in to our legs a little, maybe a little bit of a lower back stretch. Crawl a little more forward, fingertips a little more forward to get an upper back stretch. Just some simple stretches to start class. Working our way up slowly. From here, slowly crawl your fingertips to the right, top right corner. Finding a lovely oblique stretch on the left side of your body. See how this feels a little differently on your right leg than it does on the left. Know that we'll balance it out in a second. Again, deep breaths here, sending your energy to the places that need it most. And then slowly crawl your fingertips back to center and then all the way to the left. Finding the sensation in the right side body this time, noticing how your legs might feel a little different just by moving our torso right and left. Can you sink a little deeply, a little more deeper? And then crawl your hands back to center for a quick reset. Bring your chest even closer to your thighs. This is the last bit here. And then slowly crawl them back up so you can sit up in your neutral seated position. Let's take some light twists to the right and left, starting with the right. Bring your right arm behind you. Use your left hand to twist your body to the right side back wall. Maybe even gaze where your body wants to go. Chin towards right shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall, very little pressure in your right hand. Twist a little deeper, just opening up here. And then come back to center and twist to the left. Hear your back crack maybe. Again, same thing goes here. All of your energy is in your spine. Avoid dumping into the back hand. Just use it as a prop to sit up nice and tall. One more breath. And then come back to center. Place your hands behind your hips, kind of right next to your butt, and lift your butt up off of the ground by crunching forward like we would in a cat position, and then set it back down. Take a few of these butt lifts using a lot of your shoulder strength, a lot of core, just beginning to compress a little bit here. Exhale as you rise up. Nice. This will get you sweating really quickly. And then if you're feeling a little bit stronger, looking for a challenge, try lifting your butt up. And then when you're up there, lift your legs up off the ground, even just a few inches, even for a split second. Ugh, that will get your lower abdominals working. It's just a funny position to try to hold. It's a lot of work. Let's do one more. Oh, it's hard to hold. And then that's great. Then let's come to stand on our knees. So hips over knees, shoulders over hips. And let's take these one arm back bends that we've been practicing both in my gentle yoga class and this class. So bring your arms above your head in mountain pose, half mountain pose, shoulders down, triceps in. Drop your right arm behind you and then slowly begin to push your hips forward, your chest up. So you're creating a C with your back, and then reach back with your right hand to maybe make connections with your right leg or right foot, right ankle, and hold it here. Bring your gaze up a little bit to help your body bend backwards. This is a really intense back bend for the beginning of class, so take it easy, take it nice and light. Engage your glutes a lot here. Glute engagement and back bends is critical. Maybe you let your neck drop back a little bit as well. Beautiful. And then slowly rise back up to standing on your knees and switch it out. Both arms go high, then left arm goes back behind you, finding the grip maybe on your foot or ankle or shin, calf. Looking up again. I feel this a lot in my hips. Beautiful posture. Sending my energy down to where I'm feeling it most. Again, glute engagement is critical here. Can you go back a little further? Look up further along your ceiling. And then switch it out, or come back to center, excuse me. Both arms go up, and then both arms go down. Sometimes I like to begin, now we'll do the double back bend. Sometimes I like to begin with my right arm down, and then I bring my left arm back. Whatever feels good for you, however you can get into this posture is wonderful. This is the fullest one yet. Maybe close your eyes. A lot of emotions appear in these really intense back bends. So give yourself a break with big, big breaths. We're here for 4, 3, come to have a seat on your feet in 2, and 1, quickly come to have a seat on your feet. Close your eyes for a second, hands to thighs or knees, just reconnect with yourself. Maybe bring your hand to your heart and belly. Back bending is really, really emotional. I know it sounds kind of weird. What are you talking about? We're just moving our body. How can that be emotional? But we actually store a lot of tension in the places that we open up in back bends, in our hips, in our heart and chest, in our stomach. It's a really vulnerable position. Kind of goes against all of our biological, like, innate ideas of what is good to protect ourselves. So take a few breaths here to calm down. And then when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open and meet me in tabletop pose. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Create a flat spine by engaging your core. Let's take a few wrist stretches. However you want to do the wrist stretch is totally cool with me. Let's take a few different ones this time. So I'm going to start off by flipping my palms up and fingers facing each other. So this is a pretty intense wrist stretch. If you need to flip the palms down and start that way, that's great, but we've been practicing wrist stretches for a while now, so I wanted to upgrade our practice a little bit. And if that feels good, flip or move the palms 90 degrees so your fingertips are facing your knees. I can barely move in this posture, just the palms up, fingers facing knees bit is enough for me. I'm just taking tiny, tiny rotations. The goal here is to feel a wonderful sensation in the wrist, nothing too intense. Then flip the palms so they're face down. Take an easy wrist stretch. I'm facing mine to the left and right, rocking and rolling left and right. This feels too easy. You can flip them again, or sorry, turn them again towards your knees and rock and roll vertically. So many beautiful options. You're welcome to stay in the wrist stretches if you don't feel open enough yet, but I'm gonna move on. Coming into a neutral tabletop pose. Straighten your right arm in front of you. Find a balance, shift accordingly, maybe shift a little bit forward, and then straighten the left leg behind you. Flex or extend the feet, or point the feet, sorry, flex or point the feet to activate the entire leg. So both arms and legs are facing forward and backward in this vertical position. From here, we're gonna move them both into kind of L position. Let's start with the arm. Bend into the arm so you're creating an L with your arm, like a goalpost. And then crunch your knee to the left side abdomen to create an L with your leg. Nice, this is hard to hold. And then rotate between the vertical straight arm, straight leg, and then the bent arm, bent leg bit. Whew, this will really begin to warm you up. Take big open mouth breaths here on the hardest part, which for me is when I bend into both of my arms and legs. Nice. Here we're working a lot of our abs, a lot of our balance is being challenged. We're here just for 4. Yes, you can. For 3, grab your foot behind you in 2, and 1. Reach back with your right arm to grab the left foot behind you and slowly tug your thigh up towards the ceiling. This is just a really fun balancing practice with a little thigh stretch in there. Maybe even look behind you. Make sure your shoulder's still over your wrist. Can you kick your thigh even higher? Engaging your core to help with the balance. Catching your breath for a second here. And then release, hands, foot, and knees down. Maybe take a quick cat-cow to reset the spine, bending and flexing your core. And then find a neutral tabletop. We'll try this on the other side. So extend your left arm forward, find your balance, and then extend your right leg back, pointing or flexing the toes. Once you find comfort and stability here, bend into the left arm to create an L shape with the arm. And in the same position, move your right knee close to your right tricep. Hold that for a second, that's really challenging. And then straighten both. Inhale, exhale, bend into both. Inhale, extend, exhale, bend. You're off at your own pace here. Make sure your shoulder is still over your wrist. I keep pushing my hips too far back. You really want to maintain that kind of tabletop stability. Whew, big open mouth breaths here. This is hard stuff. We're here just for 4. Whew, yes, you can. If you fall out, come back in for 3. Grab opposite foot in 2. Yes, you can. 1 more. And 1. Reach back with the left hand this time to grab that right foot behind you and then kick that right knee up towards the sky. Big breaths here. This is a really fun position. Hard for the balance. Good place to calm your heart rate down a little bit. Maybe look behind you. Maybe look forward. Whatever feels good for you. Kick 1 more inch high, higher. And then release the hand to foot grip. Take a few cat-cows to reset the spine. Really dig deep into the cows here. I'm gonna put my hair up because I'm already sweating. But take your time with the cat-cows. Big big breaths together. Nice. And when you're ready, come into a high plank. Hands go a few inches in front of you, feet go straight or legs go straight, and push immediately down into a downward facing dog, pedaling out your legs, sending your chest closer to your thighs. Bend, 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 straighten, straighten, straighten. Take your dog out for a walk, play around with it, get a little mobile, dip one shoulder down, dip the other one down. Just have fun with it, get comfortable in your downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, find stillness and just enjoy this hamstring, this calf stretch, this back opener. Big breaths here to reset, to find your center. Bring your left hand to grab your right ankle or right leg, whatever is accessible, and hold it in this cross body stretch. This is really hard. Maybe bend into that, or fall out of it. Bend into that left arm. So you look in between your right armpit or behind your right armpit. Can you bring your chest even closer to your thighs? And then switch it out. Plant the left hand back down and then reach with your right arm and grab your left ankle or left shin or whatever's accessible and bend into that right arm, looking underneath your right armpit. Big breaths. Can you twist a little deeper? Bring that right shoulder in, left shoulder back. And then come back to a neutral downward facing dog, reset. And now let's take these opposite hand to opposite ankle taps. So with your left hand, tap your right ankle and then place the left hand down. With your right hand, tap your left ankle and place the right hand down. Maintain this downward dog facing position and just use your arms. The only thing moving are your arms. If you would like an added challenge, again, these challenges are always just super optional. You can hinge forward into a plank and then hinge down into the downward facing dog twist. So we tap and high plank and tap and high plank and tap and high plank. These are just fun, really mobile movements. Option to just stay in downward facing dog and do the taps by just moving your arms. And to add a plank just adds a little more core into it, a little more cardio. Whew. We're here for just a few seconds, so take your time. Whew. Open mouth breaths here, obviously. We're here for 4. Downward facing dog in 3. Yes, you can for 2. And 1, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Take a breather. And then slowly walk or step or jump to the top of your mat, preparing for ragdoll pose. Your feet are hips width distance apart. Take a generous bend into your knees and relax your entire upper body over your lower body, pretending like it's limp, like you are a doll with no muscles or ligaments or anything. Just relaxing over. Option to take the hand to elbow grip. Option to take a basket grip behind your lower head. Just breathing into any points of tension. I feel a lot in my upper body, in my hamstrings. Taking a breath, using this stillness to bring our heart rate again back down. This entire class is a roller coaster of a heart rate. So we'll build up just to bring it back down. And really release your hands down to the mat if you had a grip of any kind. And we'll take a twist here. So bring your left hand to your right ankle and reach your right arm nice and high. We practice these twists in the downward facing dog so you're a little more comfortable in your upper body here. Maybe you have to bend into your left knee to make this possible. Can you bend into your right arm to make sure your chest is closer to your thighs? Maybe look up towards your right hands. Twist a little deeper here. And then switch it out. Right hand grabs left ankle, left arm rises high. Bend into the right arm to get your chest as close to your thighs as feels good. And maybe look up to your left fingertips. Maybe roll out the right or the left wrist. One more inch here. And then release your hands back down, reset, relax your neck back down. And slowly roll all the way up to stand, one vertebrae at a time, one long inhale. And find a basket grip behind your back. Puff up your chest and move the hands a few inches away from the chest, engaging the core. Take a little back bend here. So you open up into the entire abdomen, all the way up to your shoulders. Maybe lift your chin up a little higher. And from here, keeping the upper body almost identical to where it is now, slowly bend into your knees for chair pose. Your chest will move a little bit more forward, but keep the arms exactly where they are. Engaging your core to avoid a duck butt. Look down to make sure you can still see your toes, maybe wiggle them off of the mat. Most of your weight should be in your heels. Breathing deeply. From here, slowly rise up to drinking bird by bringing all of your weight forward this time, so much so that you can lift your heels off the ground. The more traditional version of this pose has your legs and feet zipped together. If you need a little more balancing help, you can keep your legs about a hip's distance apart. This is a really hard balancing act. From here, keeping your heels off of the mat, rise up to stand in the mountain pose back bend, slight back bend that we just practiced. And then when you're ready, slowly sink back down again, heels stay off the mat this entire time into drinking bird. So we're just rotating here from a low drinking bird to a high mountain with two kind of binds here. So we're not, our hands are binded literally behind us and our heels are raised off the ground. So two challenges to make just bending our knees up and down a really kind of challenging practice. But take these on your own time. The goal here is to challenge your balance. If it's too much, you can always release the hand grip and just keep the arms up and then rise them down, raise them, lower them on your way up. Whatever is more fun and more accessible to you. You should start feeling a lot of heat in your calves. We're here just for 4. Yes, you can for 3. Big breaths for 2. And 1. Wherever you are, release your hands, keeping the heels off the ground. Slowly bend into your knees. Bend, 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 bend. Sit your butt low, 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 heels off the ground, and find yourself into a tiny ball with your hands in front of you. Bring your forehead to your knees and crunch forward into this tiny, tiny little ball. Ah, with your heels still off the ground. Then plant your palms and step back into a high plank. Let's take some shoulder taps here. Bring your right hand to your left shoulder and set it down. Left hand to right shoulder, set it down. Just take a few of these again to warm up, heat up, heart rate up. As fast or as slow as necessary. Option to take these on your knees for a little less impact. If your wrists are feeling a little too much, you can always try this with fists instead of palms. We're here for just a few seconds. For 4, 3, high plank in 2, and 1, high plank. Bend into your elbows so much so that you come into low plank, and then press up into high plank. Bend your elbows so much so that you come into low plank, and press up to high plank. One more time, bend your elbows so much so that you can come into low plank. Keep going all the way down so your whole upper body, lower body meets the mat. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat so they're kind of straddling the mat, and bring your hands to the same position but in line with your chest. And then use your arms to peel your upper body off of the mat into seal pose. Again, engaging your glutes a lot here, using the palms, the heels of your hands to send your chest nice and high. Maybe even lift your chin up nice and high. Yes. Deep body, belly breaths. Relax here for a minute. And then slowly body roll your upper lower body down. Bring your hands closer to your chest. Zip your feet up off the ground. And then peel up again, this time into cobra. So our legs are touching, zippered together. And our hands are a little closer to our body. This is cobra. Just a few inches difference with our hands and legs is the difference between seal and cobra. And then slowly body roll back down, this time preparing for upward facing dog. So come up into a high plank almost and shine your chest forward. Pretend like you're coming up into a high plank. Shine your chest forward, lift your knees and thighs off the ground, engaging your core a lot, your glutes a lot. Can you lift up even higher? Can you bend back even further? Nice. And then from here, flip back into your downward facing dog. You've been here before. Take a minute, reconnect with your breath. Yes, you can. Inhale your right leg nice and high, open, bend, and stretch that right knee to open up into the hip. Maybe gaze behind your right armpit to send your energy back there to your hip. And then slowly hinge forward, coming up into high plank with your knee to nose. Point your toes and pulse. Knee to nose, pulsing the knee close to the face. Toes are pointed. We're here for just a few seconds. You can also try this on your knee. And then move the knee to your right tricep to get into that some of that oblique work and pulsing ever so gently, just tiny, tiny pulses. You should barely see your knee moving. And then cross body. Knee to left tricep, pulse, 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 pulse. This is the hardest one. I promise we won't stay here for too long. Can you bring the knee up even higher for 4, 3, lizard's lunge in 2, and 1. Plant the right foot to the top, towards the top right corner of your mat. Hands are on the inside of the leg. Ankle is beyond the knee. So you're creating an obtuse angle with your right leg. Whatever you want to do with your arms is totally up to you. If you're feeling more flexible, you can come onto your elbows. If you want to stay nice, tall, and proud like me, that's great. My wrists were starting to hurt, so I'm coming onto my fists to release some of that wrist tension. Take a mobile lizard's lunge here by maybe taking circles or moving my knee right and left. Whatever feels good for you. Take your time with it. Nice. If the lizard's lunge arm balance is within your practice, you can try that flying lizard by bringing your palms down to the mat. If they weren't there already, hook your right leg on your right tricep. I need to back up. My space is too small for this. Bend into both arms, or just stay in lizard's lunge. This is just an option. Bend into both arms like the chaturanga arms that we've been practicing so that your upper body can hinge forward on top of them. Straighten the right leg, lift the left toes up a little high, and boom, you got your flying lizard. Knock your water bottle down. Or not, and meet me in lizard's lunge. Option to always drop your back knee down in these kind of lunge postures. From here, toe heel your foot to the center of the mat so you frame out your leg with your arms, ankle below knee. We're in a low lunge. And again, play around here. See how your hips are feeling in this moment. And from here, keeping your hands on the mat, straighten your right leg. This isn't even an official yoga pose. It's kind of like a pyramid crescent. I say that because we're in pyramid pose, but our back heel is still not on the ground. And then bend into the knee, into low lunge again. And then straighten the knee into this kind of half splits posture. And then bend into the knee to take a few of these rotations here by just straightening and bending the front leg. If you need blocks or some sort of prop for your hands, especially to get into the straight leg posture, that's awesome. Maybe you just don't even make connection with your hands to the mat and just straighten and bend the leg without your hands on the mat. The goal here is just to open up our hips a little, our hamstring, our mobility. Sometimes it's fun to practice yoga poses that don't even have a name. It means we're spicing up our practice a little bit. And when you're done with this, meet me in the low lunge posture. Get your balance and then rise up to stand into crescent lunge from the waist up, 90-degree bend in your right leg. We're on the tippy toes of our back foot. Begin to straighten the back leg if you can to activate the entire left leg from thigh to shin to calf to toes. Engage your core, shoulders over hips, knee over ankle, arms above your head, shoulders down, triceps in. Whew, breathing deeply here. Can you sink a little lower here? Yes, you can. From here, we're gonna jump up into warrior 3. Boom, send your arms forward, your left leg behind you, your right leg is your base. Warrior 3 is like Superman pose. Arms engaged, pretend like someone's pushing you, pulling you forward with your fingertips and pulling you back with your toes. Maybe straighten that back leg. Can you lift it even higher to create a T here? If you need to come out of it whenever you need to. Come back in when you're ready. This is a lot of right leg glute work. I acknowledge that. This is the hardest part of class, I promise. We're here for 4, 3, warrior 2 and 2, and 1. Slowly plant your foot back down behind you so your foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Still 90-degree bend in your front leg. Your arms tee out to the front and back wall. You want to trail your right knee further to the right to activate the inner thigh. And then you want to open up your left hip further left to open up your left thigh. Nice to see you, Mom. Shoulders down, arms lifted ever so slightly to activate your entire arms. Breathing deeply. We're preparing to jump forward into half moon. Half moon looks like my entire upper body is going to stay the same. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees, including lifting our left leg up. So I'm going to hinge forward onto only my right leg. Again, legs, arms stay the same, just rotating them 90 degrees so my right hand meets the mat. Lifting the left arm and left leg back. Maybe you can catch the balance and lift the right hand off the ground or not, and just use the hand to mat as a tripod stand. Keep moving that left shoulder back. Keep moving that left leg up. Engage the core. Yes, you can. We're not here for too long. This is a really fun pose, but it's really challenging. Make sure you're not hyperextending the right knee, maybe bend it a little bit. And then slowly hinge back into reverse warrior. Plant the left toes back down and bring your right arm nice and high. 90-degree bend in your right leg. Feel this right side oblique stretch here. Beautiful. Maybe look up. We want to reach up first and then back rather than back first. Connect with your breath here, slowing down a little. And then slowly tick-tock your arms forward to meet the mat, framing out that front leg. And then step back into high plank. Maybe you take your chaturanga push-ups that we practiced earlier, that I tricked you into earlier. Maybe you take the upward facing dog that again we practiced earlier, getting into those hips and the lower core. Wherever you are, meet me. Downward facing dog when you're ready. Sending the left leg nice and high this time. Open, bend, and stretch into that hip. Looking behind the left armpit this time. Maybe take little circles. Whatever feels good for you today. The hips deserve so much love. If I don't open up my hips almost every day, I feel it later in my lower back. So it's important to give them some love. Now we're going to hinge forward into high plank, knee to nose. So stack your shoulders over your wrists. Your knee is as close to your face as possible. You're pointing your toes. You're on your back toes as well. And we're going to pulse, 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 pulse. Again, you want to round your upper back so we're in this kind of cat position. Just pulsing our knee as close to our face as possible. Then move the knee to the left tricep this time. Left knee, left tricep. Engaging those obliques. This is a funky little posture, but it does a lot for our core. Just for 4, 3, opposite tricep into, and 1, cross body pulses, left knee to right tricep this time. This is the hardest one. We're not staying here for much longer. Engage the core, open mouth breaths. Sweating is good for 4, 3, lizard's lunge in 2, and 1, plant the left leg down on the left side of your mat. So your hands are on the inside of the mat. Same thing goes here. Create an obtuse angle with your leg, knee over or in front of behind ankle. And rock and roll, left, right, front, back. Relax into this posture. Option to come down onto your back knee, option to come onto your elbows. Make this a slow, mobile stretch. Moving the knee into your tricep and then out towards the ground. And if you're ready or interested, you can try the flying lizard's lunge, the flying lizard on this side too. I'm feeling a little tired, so I'm not going to demo it, but that's always within your practices to add in fun arm balances as you see necessary. Open breaths here. Just a few more seconds, just trying to relax our heart rate down a little bit. If you need to change the pose, I put my right knee down halfway through. That's totally acceptable. If you were in the lizards, flying lizards, come back down to the ground. And then begin to toe heel the left leg to the center of the mat, framing out that left foot with our hands. We're off of the back knee this time. Knee over ankle, get set up in this low lunge. And then begin to straighten the left leg, using your chest to come closer to your thighs. Find this hamstring stretch. We're still on just our right toes. Heel is not down on the ground in our back foot. And then bend into the knee again. Sink your hips low. Feel this in your hips. And then when you straighten it, feel this in your hamstring, left hamstring. And take these rotations. The low lunge to pseudo half split, pseudo triangle or pyramid pose on your own time. Just kind of flossing into our hip joints a little. Open mouth breaths to release some of the heat we're building up. Nice. Again, option to come off of your hands, especially if the hand to mat grip isn't accessible when we straighten our legs. Also option to try that as like a funky balance thing. Wherever you are, keep your chest close to your thighs in both the lunge and the arm straightener, the leg straightener. We're here for 4. Meet me in the low lunge in 3. Yes, you can for just 2 more. And 1, meet me in the low lunge, hands back to the mat, and rise up into crescent lunge. You've been here before, arms above head, sink nice and low into the left leg. Reset if you need to. I like to move my leg a little to the left, not like in the center of the mat. And relax into this posture. Again, to make this posture the fullest expression, you begin to straighten the back leg so you're just your back toes. For a more lax version, you can bend into the knee and just focus on the right thigh. If you want to focus on both legs, straighten the back one. So many beautiful options here. Bump that right hip forward, the left hip back to really engage the lower abdomen here. All parts of our body are being activated. When you're ready, let's hop forward into warrior 3. Jump up onto just your right leg. Left leg rises until it becomes parallel with your mat. And then bring your arms forward like you're super man, woman, super person. And bump that right hip in line, down in line with the right hip, the left hip. Bump right hip in line with left hip to make this a little harder. If you're feeling tired like me, you can always bring your hands to heart center, which releases some of the stress on the balance part of it. Engage the core. Can you lift the right leg even higher? Yes, you can. Maybe you gaze down onto the mat. Maybe you have fun with this by playing around with your arms, swimming, whatever. This is your practice. Have fun with it. We're here for 4, 3, warrior 2 and 2, and 1. Step the foot back behind you. So it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. Tee out your arms. Bring your arms, your hands up a little higher. Bring the left knee further left to activate the inner left thigh. Bump the right hip further right to open up into your hips here. So you're creating this dichotomy between the right and left side, opening up into the side wall. Shoulders down. Track them over your hips. Can you sink even lower into that front leg? Nice. Catch your breath here. And when you're ready, let's jump forward into half moon. Again, we're keeping our arms exactly how they are, just tilting them 90 degrees forward. So pop up onto just your left leg, and then tilt your arms 90 degrees and lift your right leg up behind you. So right arm up, left arm low, right leg up, left leg low. Option here to use the mat as a balancing prop or not. Maybe use a book or a block, or maybe try the balancing. Keep lifting the right leg up to activate the entire right side body. Keep moving that right shoulder back and up. If you fall out, when you fall out, just come back in, have fun with it. Woo! This class is meant to challenge you. I never want my classes to be something that people will strive to complete fully. It's beyond all of us, and that should be fun. We're here for just 4. Hold your best posture for just 3. Reverse warrior in 2 and 1. Slowly bend into the left leg, set the right toes back down, right heel down 2. Tee out your arms and then lift the left arm nice and high. Rebending into that front leg, looking up, gazing up towards your hand. Big breaths here. Feel this in your left side obliques. Can you reach up, 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 and then back? Beautiful. So good. 1 more inch. Can you sink lower while also reaching up higher? And then when you're ready, slowly tuck your arms down to frame out the front leg. And then step back into your high plank. From here, let's take literally 10 seconds of mountain climbers. Knee to nose, as fast as you can. Low impact means taking this nice and slow, 1 knee at a time. But I just want to get your heart rate up as fast as you can go. Just for a few seconds here. I promise we're here for just 8. 7, open mouth breaths for 6. Shoulders over wrists for 5. 4, downward facing dog just in 3, 2, and 1, downward facing dog. Send it up and back. Feel the release in your hamstrings. Yes, you can. And then come your last downward facing dog. And then come to have a seat in the middle of your mat. Swing your arms or your legs in front of you. Bend into the knees so your heels are close to your butt. And then slowly, using your last bit of core strength, bring your upper body down to meet the mat. Nice. Hug both knees into your chest and take some little lower back circles here, releasing some of the tension that might have been built or is left over from before class. And cross your right ankle over your left thigh for figure 4. Right ankle on left thigh. Use your hands to grab behind your left thigh and tug both of your legs in close to your chest. Use your right elbow to open up into that right leg. So I'm using my right elbow to push my right knee back to activate even more of the glute. Option to straighten out your left leg as well. If you're a little tighter and looking for a hamstring stretch. Flex or point both toes always to activate the legs. Can you push in a little closer while also pushing out your knee a little further? And then switch it out. Right knee on top of left thigh, or sorry, the exact opposite. Left ankle. I'm just saying words. Left ankle on top of right thigh. Flex or point to both feet. I like to flex mine in this posture. Option to straighten the right leg. Grab for the inner thigh with your hands and pull in, while also using your left elbow this time to press your left knee back. So using your hands to pull the right thigh forward, using your elbow to push the left knee away. And breathe. In this moment of class, we've surrendered now. So maybe you close your eyes. Open mouth breaths only to release the heat. Or not, retain the heat with the Ujjayi breath. And release the hand to thigh grip. Hug both knees in for a quick reset. Extend the right leg long, keeping the left knee close to you. And then guide your right knee or your left knee to the right side body with your hand for supine twist. Plant your left shoulder down on the mat. And use your best judgment for how much sensation you would like by pulling your knee closer to the mat. Definitely close your eyes here. You've made it. Give yourself permission to relax. And let's switch it out. Slowly plant the left foot back down. Hug both knees in. Extend the opposite leg long this time. Hug the right knee into your chest and then guide the right knee to the left side body. Again, planting the right shoulder down is more important than making connection with your right knee. Twist a little deeper. Pretend like you're a towel, a wet towel, and your last little droplets left. Just need a little more twisting, and then you'll be empty. Or lighter. Not completely empty, but lighter. One more breath. And then come back to center. Hug both knees in. Happy baby. Grab for the outer inner sides of the feet. Bring the knees into the armpits, keeping the lower back on the ground. That's a really important part of this. Rock and roll gently to the left and right. Maybe straighten out one or both of the legs one at a time. Again, pretend like you're just a happy infant in a crib. Connecting back to our inner child is really important to find fun and lightness in our days and in our practice. And then release the hand to foot grip. Bring your arms around your shins, hugging yourself nice and close. And then bring your forehead to your knees into the tighter ball that we practiced earlier. Take in a little bit of air here. Big inhale. Inhale even more. Even more. And then open mouth exhale. Shavasana, straighten out both arms and legs. Take up space in your practice, in your mat. Maybe shimmy your shoulders underneath your heart to give it a boost. Maybe flex the feet and then relax them to give your ankles a little bit of a cushion as well. And just take a moment here to ruminate in all the hard work you just put in to your body, to your soul, to the connection between the two. You just spend 45 minutes challenging yourself, having fun, getting stronger, more flexible. And I hope you leave this practice a little more light, soft, strong, flexible, balanced than you did when you arrived. You're welcome to stay in this meditative posture for as long as you like. If you would like to seal off class with me, Slowly bend into your knees and rock gently forward to have a seat at the top of your mat, like we started off class. Hands to thighs or knees. Release any stale air. Take in more air. And bring your hands to prayer pose in the middle of your heart or your chest. Relax your shoulders down. Thank yourself for showing up to class today. I thank you so much for being here, supporting me as a teacher, me supporting you as student, me supporting you as teacher, you supporting me as student. Now let's bring our hands, our thumbs to our third eye center, the space between our eyebrows, the seat of